Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is September 3rd, and right now we are looking at the combination of Doppler radar. As you can see, the general thunderstorm threat risk for today includes the eastern half of Oregon, some eastern Washington. You can see these showers tracking across the area into Idaho. As we go through the day today, some residual showers across some of southwest Washington and northwest Oregon as we speak. Had some pretty good thunderstorm activity across some of northwest Oregon last night as well. We'll take a look at some of those precipitation totals. Quite a few lightning strikes out there, probably up over 1,000 total. Did not get into Washington too much yesterday, definitely not across the Seattle metro, but if you were down there across some of the Willamette Valley, especially West Portland here, you got a nice light show yesterday evening. This is taking a look at the mid-level water vapor loop, and you see the trough, and you can see that lightning activity there across northwest Oregon as we went through last night, and look at it as we go through this morning across some of Nevada up into Oregon and eventually Idaho today. Some thunderstorms and some actual flooding concerns with some of this activity training over the same area. We'll take a look at that as we got another trough here on its way towards the Pacific Northwest. We'll look at those details, and we'll take a look at the extended as well. Will we warm up? Will we continue to stay cool here? Do we have more systems in our future? We'll take a look at those details with the weather models in a moment. Looking at SeaTac yesterday, look at this incredible 87 degrees there yesterday. No precipitation, but that's a pretty darn right warm day here. Still not towards that record temperature set back in 1988 of 98 degrees, though. But look at some of Portland, up over an inch of rainfall on some of those thunderstorms here. And again, mainly west of Oregon there, down some of the Willamette Valley, got a few hundredths of an inch as well, and up into the coastal range there, a little bit better amounts here. So anyway, looking at the NAM3 cam, this is 18,000 feet. You can see the upper level low off the Northern California right now, I should say. And you can kind of see this moisture moving up across Oregon and Idaho today as the system tracks off to the east finally. And we start to bring another trough down across the region here. So, yep, that system will be a distant memory here coming up as we go through the next few days. This is looking at the composite reflectivity here. And you can see those showers winding down across northwest Oregon, southwest Washington. And then the big precipitation makers are going to be across Nevada, Oregon, and Idaho here for the next couple of days. Got some excessive rainfall outlooks to look at here as well as that system pushes off to the east. And then we got another, it's a fairly weak system here. It's going to be swinging through the early portion of next week. We'll take a look at those totals here in the European in a moment. We've also got a chance for a convergence zone to set up as we go through tonight. Not a very strong one, but you'll see some of this westerly stirs down the Strait of Juan de Fuca meeting through the Chehalis Gap here somewhere in the central northern Puget Sound as you get some light precipitation. You notice the clouds out there and keeping things cool as we go through tonight on in through tomorrow morning. You can see some gusty westerly winds coming through the gaps of the Cascades here across Oregon and Washington as well through tomorrow morning. This is looking at what the Doppler radar may look like. The NAM 3KM 12Z run hot off the presses, strongest storms off across some of southern Oregon, southeast Oregon on into Idaho. But you can see that you might get a thunderstorm to pop up off some of the east slopes of the Cascades here of Oregon as well, according to the HER. Then you can see some of that convergence zone activity. Nothing too heavy out there, but could bring some light rainfall across some of the Seattle metro and areas north. And as we go a little bit further out, there'll be another system rolling through here. Not a big precipitation maker, however. This is looking at the European. You can see the cutoff low here over California finally gets picked up and moved off to the east. Next trough rolls through here. Then we've got a deeper trough rolling across the Gulf of Alaska here, and we'll check out what that's going to bring here as we go on in through the end of this upcoming week here on the European. 144 hours is as far as that model runs. Now looking at the day one, you can see thunderstorm chances for eastern Oregon, Washington here. And again, the system's going to be pushing off to the east, as you can see with day two thunderstorm outlook only about Missoula eastbound. And this is for eastern Oregon. There is some flooding concerns out there. This is from Pendleton National Weather Service, updated this morning again across a lot of southeast Oregon out there. And you can see here in the excessive rainfall outlook does include, the bullseye here is kind of across most of Idaho and eastern Idaho, southwest Montana. And this would be for day two as that system continues its motion onto the east. And if you guys want to save 10% off a nice affordable home weather station with a great smartphone app here, click on that link down below to save 10% off. You can see the real-time information coming at my house. You can see the wind update. It's very fun to watch as storms roll through, so highly recommend that weather station. It's very easy to set up as well. Lightning flash density potential today. So looking at the 12Z run here that goes out 48 hours, look at some of these storms across Nevada. Burning Man maybe getting a couple heavy showers again today, and then you can see that system pushing off to the east. And if you look at that really quickly, you can see some of that activity maybe across some of the Oregon Cascades as we go through this afternoon. But again, that system should be out of our hair here as we go through the next day or so. There goes our upper level low, looking a little bit further out. Here's the GFS 060 run. It kicks off to the east. Next trough comes down, fairly weak system. Then we start to dig into the trough across the Gulf of Alaska, and nothing too crazy here. But then after that, some of the models are hinting at some ridging building up here as we go through the September 10-11 time frame here. So something to watch. It's not unheard of that we warm up through September for a period anyway. Pretty interesting ridge building through Fantasyland here on the GFS all the way up across British Columbia towards Northwest Territories and the Yukon as well. This would warm us up pretty well, but we'll watch this as we go through the next couple of days because this is purely fantasy, but that would definitely be borderline heat wave here for, relatively speaking, for some of the Pacific Northwest. Might even bring a thermal trough. Anyway, just fantasy right now. Don't get too worried about it. We'll watch over the next few days. And let's back up the European a little bit here. We'll go to last night's run here because it goes out a bit further. There goes our trough kicking off to the east. Next trough swings through the area. Gulf of Alaska trough builds there. We start to build the ridge here. Swing this trough through. And let's see. That's that ridge that the GFS really builds. The European showing some ridging here, but nothing like what the GFS was showing. So definitely some things to work out as we go through the next few days looking at these model runs. 24-hour precipitation total in inches here. You can see we really dry out. The next system comes through here and not a big precipitation maker really whatsoever here across the area. But we'll watch that. Things can still change, and we'll watch that next trough as we go through later next week as well. National blend of models, you're definitely going to know that cool down, probably 15 plus degrees, maybe 20 degrees for some area. And you can see as we go through Monday, maybe not getting out of the 60s for a lot of Western Washington, low to mid 70s maybe for the Willamette Valley. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, nice seasonable temperatures here, generally below average until you get towards the end of the week. Then maybe we'll start bouncing back a little bit here, but we have plenty of time to worry about that as we go. 8 to 14 day temperature outlook here, and you can kind of see picking up on maybe some of this ridging building up over the area as we go through mid-September. Again, take that with a grain of salt. We'll watch this over the next few days. 8 to 14 day through September 16th as well, and yeah, below average signal for now. But anyway, things can change at that time frame. But yeah, the upper level low really extinguished a lot of those fires and helping out across southern Oregon, northern California. Had some pretty good fire complexes going, producing quite a bit of smoke, and that should really be coming to an end. Just a perfectly placed storm across some areas of the west coast here, and it's still causing some strong storms as it moves off to the east, additional troughs, and we'll watch that ridge through the extended forecast as always. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. Enjoyed your weekend out there. We'll do this again tomorrow. We'll run everything down again, and I'll talk to you guys then.